Excited. I woke up a little bit ago and I had this dream and I and I felt I was so in the middle of it, even though I don't really understand it that well. But I got excited. I immediately thought, oh, I want to go live and share about this process. Hmm, let's see. A couple things. One is in the middle of the night, my stomach was upset. Some acid, I think fair to say connected with stress. Some of it being the stress of presenting stuff, for example, here with you online. This podcast, yeah. But yesterday I had this really I was telling my wife Lynn, kind of this desultory kind of low mood. I don't know, I just couldn't get going with things. So a little backdrop to this dream I had last night. Fuzzy now, but it involved cannibalism, like eating people, eating human flesh, eating humans. Yeah, yeah. Was it about? There was this uh, puzzle um, that I knew for some years ago that the answer was this person kills themselves after eating this sandwich, this seagull sandwich. And the reason why is they were out at sea and they were blind and they were being fed this meat and they were told that it was seagull, but they felt kind of nagged by the whole thing. And so that one day they go into this restaurant and they order seagull. And when they eat it, they realize that was not um, seagull that I was surviving off of. I was lied to, and so they shoot themselves. Anyway, that was the puzzle, and yeah, I think it was like seagull seagull sandwich that I was dreaming about last night. And when I remembered that I had dreamt of that, I immediately, of course, thought about cannibalism, and also I immediately thought, perfect. It's like I had this stomach ache, this acid stuff in the night, and it's like, oh, that's I'm in some kind of a dream. And I very quickly thought to share it, even though I could tell, even though I know that these things connect somehow, I didn't understand it. And frankly, right now, I still don't understand it that well. But as I was saying in the description, part of my teaching the last few years is an aspect of it, rather, is sharing mistakes and um, kind of offering kind of rough fumbling processes because I think somehow, at least some of this feedback that I get is that it can be helpful, especially when we're learning how to work with things and dreaming things, that it's not always neat and tidy and we get it right, so to speak. But I thought it was also be exciting. I know I felt excited about like oh, cannibalism, this dream, right in the middle of this upset stomach. Let's see if I can unfold this a little bit here with you. So that's exciting. Um, yeah. Oh, here it is. See, this is it right here. This unfolding and this excitement and wanting to share it. This is appreciation. This is eating myself. Yeah. Do you get that? Yeah, this is it. Because I can feel like there's this way where I can somewhat chronically not appreciate myself, not appreciate my process, not eat myself, right? It's like something that you don't really appreciate fully. Go, I don't know. I'll pass. I'd rather not, right? But this thing about really appreciating, really eating, really chewing, really go, there's something here to really eat. I think that's the process. So I think I caught that. So that's what I'm in the middle of. And again, I just woke up a little bit ago, a little bit unsure, but let's see if I can go a little further with this. Mm, 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 mm. There was a second dream in the night about travel, being taken by family members to the airport, hastily, packing some stuff. But I think I want to leave that off to the side right now. I know I have a very kind of cluttery desktop, but physical desktop. But this one was kind of catching my attention for a moment here. Where is that? Yeah, there you go. There you are, little friend, a little ally. Sometimes when I'm doing sessions, I put this one out nearby. I'll leave him right there. Hmm. Yeah, I appreciate you. I often, yeah, appreciate you. But do I appreciate myself as much? I know the answer is no, or can be no. Not always. Sometimes I go, oh yeah, Bill say, all right, yeah, 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 yeah. But you, my friend, first I don't know if you can see the garb. I think I have to put my glasses on. Is that right? A little, yeah, yeah, little kimono or a little robe, like Japanese robes. A little sage. One of my students gave me this little friend, and I put this sage near me when I do sessions. And so, yeah, what about my own inner sageness? Hmm. What about my own process? Getting excited about my own process. And then immediately I start to go, oh, I'm getting a little bit too self interested here, a little too self centered, narcissistic. Yeah. Okay, maybe. But maybe the deeper thing is really about being interested in eating, delighting in, being interested in, being excited in, say, my own process, or by extension, maybe yours. Yeah. Hmm. Something about marginalizing the value and interest and meaning of me, and then having a process that points to that, say, yeah, again, I'm a bit unsure about this process, but I know that I'm in the middle of something with that coincidence of stomach upset, dream. I think fair to say, yeah, there's stuff about eating, cannibalism in that dream. And that interesting thing, yeah, I'll believe in that too. Very quick, excited feeling because I've been kind of like, oh God, I'm gonna go to Japan next week, and I go, God, do I want to do another podcast before I go to Japan? I mean, frankly, it can be a little bit stressful. Like sometimes during, but more after podcasting. Yeah, how was that? And it's a new thing. But yeah, this excitement that came, wanting to share it, and that it got me over a certain threshold. Yeah, and that is somehow valuing this process. There it is. There it is. I feel like boom, that there's a valuing this, say my process, this process, my process. Feels edgy to say that. My process enough. Yeah. To want to chew on it a little bit here with you. That's what I'm doing. Huh. Yeah. So I really chew on it here. If I really eat myself here, I notice, yeah, I'm going to make this gesture. I think it helps amplify it a little bit. A little process work. Basic approach and theory is amplification to like blow up a process, bring more awareness to it, make it a little bit bigger. So how could I eat myself right here? Wow. Eat this cannibalism process, eat this dream a little bit more right here. Yeah. See, one of the really edgy things about this podcast is starting to like it kind of addresses this original, semi-original reason for wanting to offer this round of talks. Because I've offered a bunch of talks in my life and a number on my YouTube channel, but not for a few years. But with this Trump second presidency, I said, "Fuck yeah, yeah." And ooh, sirens, woo, 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 woo. There's something kind of edgy about it, even though there's plenty enough people speaking out and just the absurd, stupid shit and dangerous and harmful stuff that he's already doing. 100 days into his presidency, right? Lying about it on public TV the other day, saying that he had warned the American people, be ready, it's going to be tough times. No, you showed on those clips, he was promising American people, for example, that he's going to bring prices down right away rather than delivering this shitstorm of an economic terror, this thing with his tariffs. Incredible, incredible. And so disappointed in you if you're one of those American people that voted for this idiot. Really? You knew him for the first time and you're going to vote for him a second time? I am so disappointed in you and your lack of intelligence, your lack of seeing, really? Yeah, you got to vote for this idiot again? He's so dangerous. He's so self serving. He's so dishonest. He's a crook. Eh? And you think that's the person to vote for? So angry and disappointed in you. Fuck. Yeah. That's who we're going to vote for? Obviously misogynistic and racist, uneducated. He can't read. He doesn't know things. He can't pay attention. Yeah, it's well documented. He can't follow things. He can't hold complexity, you know? He knows how to bully people. He knows a natural way of being charismatic, but he doesn't form relationships. Yeah, if you notice, like he doesn't hold relationships. He doesn't hold people. He doesn't value people. He values what will puff him up and make him more powerful. And so, Terraform is a perfect way of like flexing his muscles. Let me terrify millions of people and bow them to my will. That's who we've chosen. Yeah. Let me form policies that get to exercise my own racist tendencies. That's who we've elected. Let me develop even more a system of my cronies, mostly male and white, and enrich them. And by virtue of that, enrich myself. That's who we've elected. Not that I think that, talking about this is necessarily going to be that helpful in the greater scheme of things, but, you know, I think that, the analogies have been drawn to, having a Hitler type, who, blatant disregard for people, step all over people, kill people off. It's not a completely accurate by any means analogy, but people need to, speak out about such things and not let it ride, even if you don't agree. So I don't agree. So that's gonna be a bit of my podcast is like maybe venting a little bit, ranting a little bit about this person and what he represents. So like, yeah, eating some of that, appreciating some of that impulse in me. Yeah. Even though it may not be, say, the most, informed. I read things. I read the New York Times. I read, stuff. I'm a reasonably smart person. There it is. I say a reasonably smart person. Yeah, there's that hedging. There's that way where I don't really fully take the bite and say, that's a yummy sandwich. Yeah, that's worth eating. That's like this is my life. This is some of, It's like believing in it more, valuing it, even if like I'm not the whatever, the most expert, the most knowledgeable about a given thing. But then there's also this thing about stay in your own wheelhouse. Like some of our wonderful athletes, for example, I think of Steph Curry here. When he first started like coming out with more political things, they said, just dribble, shut up, do your job and stay on the field of your own realm of expertise. But no, you know, Colin Kaepernick, football player, black football player, Steph Curry, coming forward and saying shit, you know, good for them. Good for them. Yeah. I could stay, quote unquote, in my own wheelhouse of psychology, but I think our times deserve more than that. But back to it. Is there a way I can amplify even more this eating process, which I'm going to say also includes deep appreciation? And notice when I say appreciate, that feels weak. Delight. It's not even delight. Love. Yeah, maybe that's it. I love this food. I love this food that is Bill and the process of my dreams. Stay with that for a moment. I notice when I say that love, I notice something shifts. Let me stay with it for a moment so I can share with it, feel it. Yeah, I get this kind of warm, kind of cozy feeling. I get quieter here. Yeah, loving this process connected to me. Yeah, that's it. I'm going to call it a day. Hope you find that helpful. I know I was going to come back to the life myth, and in this next section of that, I'm going to be addressing addictions and how, at the heart, at the essence of our addictive processes, we can often I find, an expression of our larger mythic process. Yeah. And how that mythic process mm, can inform our relationships, our work, our direction and meaning in life, all that stuff. Yeah. And more events on that coming up, including in about a week from now, half day workshop in Tokyo, and then an online 5-part series in August through the Process Work Institute in Portland, Oregon. Yeah. And end of June, beginning of June. In June, a free presentation on how our mythic processes can inform our response to the world. Yeah, fun stuff. Okay, be well, everyone. Take care. Bye for now.